Giuliani.
Here.
TTC Board President Brock Gibson.
Here.
TTC member Rebecca Monia.
Here.
Chamber Liaison Dina Kreitler.
Here.
And Board Liaison Joe Steiger will be late. Wanted to take a moment to welcome Dan Scholes on the board. We really appreciate you jumping on board. I just want to talk maybe a little bit about what the past few months have been like for this board, because this is pretty much a new board. You know, we've all got 3 years left on this, but one of the big things that we've been working on is, you know, kind of refining what the mission is of tourism and making sure that we understand that going forward. And so if you see at the top of our agenda, we always keep that mission statement that we developed at the top to kind of remind us of things like that. That, you know, the big thing is to grow visitation and to focus on the visitor experience. So that's kind of what leads us going forward. So other than that, you'll kind of get into the flow of things as we go along.
All right,
Brock, you want
approve
to take
the
over?
agenda? I think there was something you added to the agenda. It doesn't look like it's on there though, right?
Oh, the marketing assistance grant, it should be at the back.
Yeah, it's on the next page.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't see that. All right, motion to approve.
I'll approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay. Previous minutes. Looks good to me.
I'll approve.
Okay. Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Financials. So is this the month that we see any of those
Any of
new changes?
No, so county's still working through, we're going to get together with them in the next couple of months. I talked with Sarah Hogue today, the treasurer, who's going to be collecting the transient tax for the county. She said she's received one check so far, and that was from the microtel. So maybe everybody's, I think there's a lot of people really working through the VRBO thing right now, because VRBO removed their people's ability to add the transient tax manually. So there's some hoops to jump through there. And it sounds like, from what I can gather, is that VRBO is kind of like manually adding it for each person that calls in. So that's really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so maybe everybody's waiting at this point for the dust to settle and to report quarterly. Hopefully that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, because the requirement is a quarterly reporting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think the only other big, kind of chain out there would be the postcard cabins. And I don't know how they're going to report yet. Dina gave me Andrea Erxelben's email. She's the manager out there. So I haven't heard a response from her, but reaching out to her on a number of different things, but that'll be one I'll talk to her about when I do talk to her. So none of that has come in. Looks like we're on pace to, if things kind of, you just never know, but basically come in at or a little bit above last year. And then our expenses, just the billboard out on Y and front loading some hours for our webmaster. They've been really preoccupied this year with apparently a lot of websites are getting called in by lawyers for not being ADA accessible. And so making sure our website is ADA accessible.
That's the 7,200?
No, that's not just for that, but it's like I said, front loading hours. We get 72 hours with them to maintain our SEO, which I don't know if you've ever searched anything online referring to St. Gen, but we're consistently,
Yeah.
our website pops up at the top, so they do a great job of that. And just anything we need changed, moved around. I just recently had them add the embedded map from Visit widget onto our website. So on our homepage, you can just scroll down, look at an interactive map, and find what you're looking for there. So.
So the signage is all done?
The signage is, I just dropped off the last check yesterday. It was a nice fat one. You'll see in my tourism report, I'll kind of talk about that, but yes, it's not done. They've printed all of the graphics. They're going to be transferring it to the metal, and then hopefully we'll get it by the end of this month, beginning of next month. But we do have to turn in everything from the grant at this point, and we'll talk about a little bit about that when we get to the tourism report. So, anybody want to approve that financial report?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
So Aaron, on that 20,000, is that what you're saying, that's the one that you paid yesterday? So that's all of the wayfinding signs, or?
It was a total of 41,000 for the wayfinding signs.
Right,
So that's all of the downtown, replacing all of the downtown signs and adding additional signage. It's 118 signs altogether.
So the 615.20 is the other first half,
That was the first half.
and then the second half was what you just paid us.
Yeah. And then earlier in the year, we had that $4,000 to replace the billboard at Mississippi Lime. And then the other thing we got with that is we're going to be installing banner poles in our downtown. This grant will help pay for the powder coating of those. So we're having them cut down, powder coated, and then yeah, it's a lot more involved than we were initially thinking. We've got our city engineers involved now, but yeah, but it's going to be very cool when it's up. I'll be quite proud.
Where are they originally?
So we have a mixture of things. Out here at Market and 4th, Market and 2nd, Merchant and 2nd, and Main and Jefferson, we're putting tall poles that we can do cross-street banners. You know, kind of promoting festivals and things like that, since we
I like that.
yeah, since we only have that one across 4th Street that Citizens Electric allows us to do. Down 3rd Street, we're doing 6 24-foot poles that will have banner capabilities where you can hang a 2-foot by 4-foot banner. But we're also looking at stringing lights across the street on 3rd Street.
But only on 3rd Street?
Well, we're looking at Merchant Street too, going across from building to building.
Okay.
But that'll be Tyler Barr of Prosperity St. Gen and SRS Roofing is going to be helping with that. So once we get to that point, but this, working just with this grant, yeah, the banner poles, that's the first part we're working on, and then we'll hand that off down the road. And I think it'll be part of that street light crossing will be kind of part of the city's initiative for holiday decorations, because yeah. But you know, maybe we'll do something where the lights that we have can change colors, and we can do things for different parts of the year. And then the other banner poles want people to be able to see where our historic sites and our museums are. So 2 will go outside of Museum Learning Center. 4 will go along the street by the Jean-Baptiste Ballet. 2 right by the Center for French Colonial Life, and then 2 on that yard across the street from JB Valley. So what is that? The Lamellieur yard, where they host a lot of the Melise encampments and stuff like that. 2 outside of Main Street Park, and then 2 outside of the Felix Ballet and the Shaw House. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, 31 banner poles all in all, 118 street signs, the billboard at MLC, and then this also helped pay for the billboard on Y. So we stretched it pretty good. Yeah, 60 grand went a long way, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
All right, are we at, we already had the motion for the financial report, right? Public comments.
Good evening. I'm here for domestic violence, and I understand that there's a TTC grant form that's been submitted. Unfortunately, Kathy can't be here. She's in the ER right now. So please bear with me. I've never done this before.
Sure.
So please guide me what you need to know, and I'll be glad to submit what you need.
Do you want to wait until we get to that?
Do we want to? Yeah, do we want to have her stay the whole meeting? We got some
She can just.
Yeah.
pretty big things, but I will say I talked to Kathy directly, and I know this is kind of within the window because it's September, but they have spent their advertising dollars. So
Numerous monies.
yeah, so well above the $1,000 that we would reimburse them. So they have all of that.
And I will say, in conjunction with promoting this, we took the opportunity to promote St. Genevieve at the same time. And everywhere we went, we also made them aware that it was being held in conjunction with Oktoberfest.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the efforts that you have taken in promoting it? So you've been taking flyers down to different cities and different
Yes,
events, correct?
we have. We've looked up all the car shows in the area. We've been to St. Charles County, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, Randolph County. Oh,
Let's go to Baldwin Days, I thought I heard.
went to Baldwin Days, Cape and Jackson. I know we got some more coming up in September, but I don't remember exactly where they are. I think there's 2 more in Illinois.
And do you know what other like promotional things you've done? I know Kathy was talking about boosting things on Facebook.
Yes, we've got a page on Facebook specifically for the rally. And also I've been out putting posters up even locally. I know there's more. We've done so much.
Right.
I know we've got some more car rallies coming up that we have to go to. And
What you're doing with those is printing flyers and passing them out, and yeah.
we have an excellent flyer.
Nice.
And it's gone over very, very well. And it seems like there's something else I was wanting to tell you as far as promoting, and I can't think of it right now. I think it's nerves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Says you've done some radio.
Oh, I know what it was. Thank you. She does have contact with some of the TV stations, but she has not heard back, and we intend to use, if we can, at least 2 different ones for sure, if not more.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Is
patience.
that an extra flyer that you have there?
I can give you some.
I would love one, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
absolutely. Thanks for coming.
They're well done. Who did this for you?
Lemon Theory.
Oh,
They did a good job, I think.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Gina Bennett. I'm going to make this short, which you got a lot on your thing today. I've spoke to several people about the dissolution of the Tourism Advisory Council in 2024. The reason it got dissolved, as my understanding was, they just didn't have enough people that were interested in volunteering. But the few meetings I came to, I was just thinking perhaps you could use some more warm bodies to, when you have something you want to investigate a little bit more, perhaps that would be something to think about bringing back. I just am putting it out there. But I have the papers that talked about the ordinances that got rid of it, and how this commission was formed way back in the day. But that's just something to think about, maybe resurrecting. I don't know if that was this meeting or Board of Aldermen meeting to bring it up, but I don't really want to get into much of it. I'm just letting you know that was something that was done in the past and it could be helpful. I don't know, just a thought.
So Gina, are you kind of saying like the advisory council, and I wasn't aware, I don't know about it because I wasn't here then, but are you thinking, for example, like our last meeting when we were talking about the merchant surveys and things like that, or things that we aren't going to do a working, we'd either have to do a working session on that?
You were talking about the trolley thing, the last meeting I came to, trying to figure out, you know, getting together
routes and
separately
stuff?
for trying to think of anything, you know.
Yeah.
When there's only this many people, to form a committee out of this many people is a little harder. The Tourism Advisory Council, in my memory, was something that worked in conjunction with the Tourism Tax Commission. It met separately and advised. Some member of the TCC met with the TAC, and they were just kind of little worker bees to advise the people who were board appointed to manage the money. Because I don't know if I have that right, but that's kind of the way it was. It had all kinds of different wording back in the day. It's just something to think about. We have a whole new town. Lots of cool people come in doing all kinds of new stuff. Lots of people who've been here a long time doing all kinds of cool stuff still. And I think times are changing since we became a national park. I just
Do you know when that was
wondered-
dissolved?
What?
When was that dissolved? Do you know?
24.
That was in 2024. I was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just got dissolved in 24, but basically, it was hard to get everybody, the volunteers that were back in the day, to come to the meetings.
Well, I think what had happened was we had like 3 TTC members and 2 TAC members. So we barely had enough for a quorum.
Yeah.
And it was like, why don't we just kind of merge the folks we have here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, it's not that there isn't transparency because it's on TV, but publicity for all these people put their little thoughts out there in social media, and I'm just wondering if we, you know, nicely asked, if you all are interested so much, put out an ask. Does anybody that is qualified, because you would have to come up with what somebody would have to be, but if it was a wider cross-section of the county and city, because it is a county-city thing, perhaps you would get some different ideas that you didn't have time to think about. Or you have done in the past and you're already saying, well, been there, done that, this is why it didn't work. So just a thought.
Yeah.
The other couple of quick things is I've talked to people about costume colonial keeper people or festivals. Mickey and Jack Ketting back in the day and some other people used to dress up. I'm thinking maybe next year that might be a good thing to resurrect. See if any of the theater kids from the schools or older people who are interested dressing up and picking corners that the Tourism Commission thinks is important, and just be there to hand out and point in the direction, and just in general, like St. Charles does. In Christmas, they all have those costume people, and it's very nice just to have somebody dressed up to do it. And I'm not talking about King's Ball outfits. I'm talking about regular colonial outfits. So that's just something to think about. Substitute shopkeeper program / internship. I talked to Aaron about this. I think there would be a lot of people who would be interested in learning more about working in a shop. All of the shopkeepers I've talked to said, we don't have the money, the time, whatever, to hire anybody. What if you did some sort of a program where people could do internships, unpaid, 3 week, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever you figure out, or I could help figure it out, but to put someone in a place to learn the business. The businesses would have to sign up that they were interested. The people would have to be educated as to what was available. They would learn a business. They could go to whatever business they were interested in and match them together. And then when a shopkeeper needed to be off for 2 or 3 hours for a doctor's appointment, they would have somebody they could trust to possibly hire out of this pool of people. It would be kind of like Kelly Temp people, but it would be shopkeepers that had been vetted, background checked, and all of that stuff. It's just an idea. This is not at all worked out well, so I just want to be brief about it. The other thing, I just came to listen about the trolley and all that. Smaller vehicles that the city already owns or could be gotten, what about having the service organizations provide people that could drive tourists around in a smaller vehicle? Because we don't have Uber and Lyft and all that, and I don't know anything about those regulations. But if you have vehicles and you have 1 million service organizations with wonderful people, couldn't you make some sort of a thing where you could have drivers that people could hire, drive you around town? The best thing would be if you had those things, they called them jitneys in New Orleans, but it was like a 3-row golf cart that ran with gas, and you could just drive people around in the downtown area. Because it's hard to get around if you are handicapped or old or tired or you have little tired kids. But to put people on something besides just walking and counting on them to move their car all around downtown. But that's pretty much it. As I said, none of these ideas are longly worked out. I basically just came to put it out there, just some ideas to think about.
It's interesting. We just last week, my chef at Audubon's brought that up, and he contacted a culinary school up in St. Charles, I think, and we're now working with them on getting a culinary student as an intern.
Yeah, I'm thinking more back in the day when I was in high school here, we had what's called COE. That was only for the business students, but they worked in the banks, they worked in the insurance offices, they worked in stores, and they were unpaid, but they got out of school for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, and they got credit somehow. This is totally back in the day. But I'm just wondering if senior citizens, the people that have a lot of time to go to the nutrition center, perhaps they would be interested in, spending time learning a business, and they would be willing to do it for free to see if it was a fit. And then the shopkeepers could see, is this person a fit? It's no harm, no foul. If it doesn't match up, you don't have to, hire somebody. But you would have the opportunity to have someone in your business that you didn't have to pay, and you could teach them. And if the fit wasn't right, there'd have to be an out. It's a lot. It's a big program. I'm not saying this could happen overnight, but I just think it would be a way to keep the shops and to address the hours issue, which will be later in your meeting. So that's pretty much all I had.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Have you guys done anything? Do you know with the internships?
We used to do a program with the school called SBE, which is in return the same thing that Gina's speaking of. They just changed it. A lot of our chamber members take part in that program. We are looking at taking part in it next year. So I don't know. But it's not, you have to pay them. It's not not a free thing for the students. And they do still get their credits.
Yeah.
So,
Can I just make one little comment? I'm an older lady, but just because we are our age does not mean a lot of us are not still quite capable of working. I work 3 days a week.
Okay.
Very active, I stay that way. So just kind of keep that in mind if you consider seniors.
you want to
you.
sign up
Because
right
it-
now?
I'm sorry.
I said you want to sign up right now?
Well, I think I pretty well got what I needed.
If a group of people that were interested could be invited somehow to gather somewhere or sometime to think about it for next year,
Yeah.
not anything right now. But it takes a while to plan something
Yeah.
and get it all, the bugs worked out. Just a thought.
Well, thank you for your comments. Those are
I have a
great.
question. Gina, does the nutrition center let groups come into them and talk to them about possibilities like this?
I hate to admit this, I am 61. I've only eaten there a few times when the tax aide was there to prepare taxes.
Okay.
I generally like to cook a lot, so, and I'm too scatterbrained to play pitch with those people. They're serious about their cards. And they don't like chatter when you're playing, so no. I don't hang out there much.
Okay.
It's a great place though.
They used to have different things out there.
Okay.
I don't know if they still do. It's been a while since I've had time to go out there, but they used to have different programs and stuff out there.
I know home health used to go out and do blood pressure checks and stuff, and different hospices would come out and offer to do this, or they had all kinds of stuff back in the day, and it's on my to-do list somewhere to go talk to Tina and see what's all there. I just think there's just a lot of people, and I don't think I could keep it together with that many people a lot.
Just a question if they let programming come in out
I
there
know they
to ask
do
that. So.
somehow, but it's just been a while since I knew anything about what they do.
Sure.
I knew they play cards.
Okay.
All right, well, I hate to jump around, but we have Lauren Shelley and Abby Stolzer from Jasper Paul on Zoom, so we will let them in. Yeah, you guys are front and center. How fun is that?
Let me just get right out of the way here.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Okay, let me see if I can. We're maxed out. We're not maxed out on volume. Say something again, Lauren.
Hello. Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. Just want to make sure everybody else can hear you. Well, thanks for being here. Just to provide some backstory, we work with Jasper Paul currently on a contract just with our general fund budget, so nothing that has to do with the TTC. But I really like the work that they're doing. I think it's really worthwhile for the city. So they have given a proposal for an expansion that would take some of the TTC, the transient tax money from the county, and help us double the budget. They've also included, if we pay a little bit more, what we would get from that, and Lauren's here to explain that. I don't see, is Abby jumping in? I don't see.
She should be on. Maybe check and see if on your end she can be let in. I know she was
Waiting room.
Oh, waiting room, there it is.
in the waiting
Bad,
room.
bad, yeah.
All right, here she comes, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. We'll bring her up to speed. Abby, Aaron just did a lovely job introducing us and explaining the work that we have done up until this point. But go ahead and introduce yourself. Oh, I don't know if you can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, sorry, actually, I'll do it on this. Yeah, that's smart, thank you.
Okay, I was like, he's talking to someone off screen right now, and I don't know who it is.
Is this it? Hold on.
He kind of,
I'm trying to, wait, what am I doing?
Started to go, huh?
Did this just?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just fat thumbing everything, I apologize. Talk again?
okay.
All right, sorry, technical difficulties. Let's see how that
You're
works.
good, and I'll say I want to thank you for letting us be virtual. My daughter started first grade today, or yesterday, so I wish we could be there in person. I know these difficulties are all due to us.
Yes, and I just got back from Scotland yesterday, so I'm very much happy to be home for a night.
Well, very good. Well, oh, sorry. I'll let you
Yeah,
take
so
over.
Erin had just kind of described what we were doing previously. Erin, did you want us to share what we had shared with you? We can share our screen if that's helpful. Okay.
Sounds great. And we have it in your packets here, so you can follow along.
Cool. Do you want to share your screen, Lauren, or can I?
I would say you go ahead and do it, and I'll just do like my intro. And I just assume everyone knows you because you're Abby, but
No.
I will do my little intro, and then you can take us off while you pull that up. So, yes, thank you for having us. As Erin mentioned, my name is Lauren. I have been with Jasper Paul PR and Marketing for 8 years. And the company is 9 years old. So just a little background for you. It was built by the founder. She was at a company, a large agency in Chicago, and I was at a larger agency here in St. Louis. And agency life is just like not what it should be. And so we kind of decided, long story short, like we wanted to do things differently while also offering solutions to hospitality clients, tourism, hotels, restaurants, in second-tier markets specifically. And I say second-tier markets because not that we by any means believe that we are a second-tier market, but we are kind of classified as such. So often overlooked or classified as a drive-through or flyover city, and we just feel a really big passion about bringing awareness and eyeballs and foot traffic to those places that we know and love. So that's really what we focus on. That's what we do here at Jasper Paul. Specifically when it comes to like the travel and tourism space, that is where a lot of my background and experience, I've been doing this 15 years, that's where my experience comes from. And when I joined Jasper Paul, we were really focused on restaurants because that's where the founder's background comes from. So when Abby joined us and said, hey, I want to take you to St. Jen, I could not have been more excited. And we had such a fun day, and it's been a fun almost full year now working with Erin and the team to really get results that are kind of out of this world based on what we've been doing. So we'll give you kind of a little bit of background there and then what our proposal is moving forward.
Abby, can you even share your screen? Can you even share your screen? Or am
I cannot.
Okay.
I cannot. It says that disabled, but that's okay. So I can just walk y'all through your packets. It's not a big deal.
Hold on.
If that's okay with you.
I think I'm
Go to participants on the bottom left.
bottom left.
Yeah, you click on her name, participants, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, click on it.
Sorry.
And then go to her right
Again.
name. Click on that, yeah.
Click on this. Allow. I'll make you the host. How
There you
about
go.
that?
That'll work.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go with
Phew,
that.
it's off of my plate. Thank
Really?
you. I appreciate it.
Oh, now she froze. Oh, there she is.
My window up that I want to share. Bear with me. I'll flip over to that. Okay. Is everybody seeing that?
We got it.
We are, yes, slide 2.
Great, we love it. We're on slide 2 for those looking at your packets. Okay, well, to introduce myself, hi, I'm Abby Stolzer. I was born and raised in St. Jen. I'm sure some of you have met me and I've met you, and I'm sure I haven't met some of you because St. Jen is sometimes bigger than you or I ever think it might be. But as Lauren alluded to, whenever I came on to Jasper Paul, I love St. Jen, like I said, born and raised, and my parents are so ingrained in St. Jen, my family is, my friends are, and the little town has so much to talk about. So I knew that with everything that Jasper Paul does for St. Louis, I knew that we could apply that to St. Jen and towards our tourism and just inviting people to spend time here. So with that, going through what we've done in the last year or so, around this time last year, we connected with Erin just to discuss how we could support the tourism team and really growing it to what Erin and the team have been thinking it could be. So we started with that $20,000 investment, and that is through this year. And what we focused on mostly has been local and regional story pitching to national journalists. And then we also have influencer engagement that we've done that we will show you here on the next slide. So these are our media results so far, bar a few that we have not listed. But our biggie that we want to talk about is the Travel and Leisure digital feature that we secured. Through this, we were able to make major strides in hosting this national journalist for this visit. I got to play tour guide for the day and really bring her through what a weekend in St. John could be, and probably even more. I spent all day, like 7 a.m. on Saturday until 3 p.m. with her, so we really covered quite the gamut. But she was just so thrilled with the hospitality that St. John has and wanted to share that with her audience. It was extremely authentic to like her voice and how she represented her story of her visit to St. John. So that was really exciting to see. And then also sharing that St. Louis Magazine, so playing on that regional part of it, has featured St. John in quite a few different things, including events, but also travel, which was super exciting to see. And then also we have our Great Day St. Louis segment, so that was on broadcast on Channel 4, that Aaron got to come up and talk about the French Heritage Festival. So we were super excited to be able to support there. And a note on all of these media results, these are all authentic storytelling pieces, so these were done without advertising dollars. So they were a little bit more, authentic to the journalists that were sharing these stories.
Well, and I want to cut in real quick. If you see at the bottom, it has that AVE right there, advertising value equivalency. I've never been able to really put this into the correct terms, but I've always talked about how I think, or I know that these stories are more valuable than advertising, because in advertising, everybody sees it like, oh, this person's trying to pitch to me. When you have someone else telling your story, they see it as more valuable. But I do love the advertising value equivalency, because that's what we would have had to spend to get this, that kind of coverage. So really.
You're so right, Aaron. That's exactly what I was going to call out as well. And that's a big, the reason that we're able to provide that advertising value equivalency is, just so you guys know, it's one of our largest investments as a company. So we pay for this software. It's called Muckrack, and it provides monthly reporting for our clients. And it's a third-party reporting software that can run based on size or length of interview, or how many times post-interview, pre-interview they mention your name. They're able then to put a dollar amount associated with what that would have cost should you have paid advertising dollars with it. So it's not perfect, but it's the closest that we can get in terms of like advertising value equivalency that like PR has ever been before. So it is one of our, outside of our people, it's our largest investment as a company, and it just provides so much value. So you can see total here just with these three pieces is around a little over $118,000, and we've been on a $20,000 annual retainer. So it helps to at least give you that kind of piece of are we getting our value out of it.
Can you talk about UVM a little bit too? Explain that one.
Yeah, for sure. Abby, do you want to, or do you want me to?
Yeah, so UVM is basically the audience reach that we're provided through Muckrack. So you can see, like, varying on if it's a regional or if it's a national, you see the scale of which those numbers come from. So in theory, the travel and leisure piece reached over 11 million readers. And then the segment from Great Day St. Louis reached over 1 million.
And that's based on the software and how it tracks. So it's not just the tentative number of people that like subscribe to Travel and Leisure or potentially could click on it. It really does the work on the back end. Not my expertise, that's why I pay a software for that, but to understand like who is clicking, who could potentially scroll past it, like it's real eyes estimated.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go to the next slide and next page for y'all. So I'm sure if you are involved in any of the businesses that have been involved in these influencer visits, you've heard about these people. But in the last couple of months, we've hosted two of our fairly larger St. Louis influencers, content creators, in St. John for a trade investment. So no additional advertising money was spent on these two specific influencers, but through the trade of the local businesses and tourism board, we were able to get that. So we have Alexis Soto, so you can see her views, likes, and comments here. And then also our Vacation St. Louis account, which is Noah and Megan. They were our couple. And then Alexis Sotos was our family. So we have completely different storytelling going through these two different videos that were put up, as well as social engagement through stories on Instagram. And you can see like the comments are fairly high for both of these, and they were interacting with their audience, and they were able to really connect with that story of St. Jen through their videos telling.
One thing that I'll include there is just kind of a shout out to everyone involved as well. So just as a reference, if you look at the Vacation STL page, they've actually done 2 posts and they've pinned them at the top of their feed. So not only were you providing something of value to them and they provide something of value to you, but these are 2 examples that we can now go to even larger. So these would be considered like a micro influencer or a regional influencer. We can go to larger influencers with these results and show the value that you bring to their audience, because as I kind of said, the Staycation STL, it's one of their highest performers with as many views as it has. It's up to now 391 likes, 70 comments, and then the secondary post is doing just as well. Like it's really doing amazing things. So I just think it's telling the story that we already know is there, and people are reacting to it. So there's just so much more to do after testing it with these 2.
And if I could add my addendum, what I've noticed is that, post travel and leisure article, I notice if I pull up, so I use Microsoft Edge as my browser. If I open that up, it always has news stories. Well, we're showing up in more of those like little kind of stories that people do, like 11 best towns across the country. So we were included in an article of best towns with Carmel by the Sea in California, Bardstown, Kentucky, Marfa, Texas. These really like these are bucket list small towns to go see. And on the other side, TikTok influencers that are probably seeing these things pop up, and they're coming to town and doing their own stories and using that to create their content. There's a guy that goes around and tries pizza all over St. Louis. He came into Ciro's. There's another guy called like White Trash Adventures. He came through. So I think this kind of exposure lends to more free advertisement. So anyways.
You're so right. Even just like the influencers, it's the same for the reporters. If you get qualified influencers or a qualified story like travel and leisure, it makes the work easier for other people. So as much as we want to believe everyone like goes out and sources original news, like we know that, doesn't happen. So if you have that qualified story placement, like it pays over and over and over in time. So thank you for sharing that, Erin. That's awesome.
Sure. Right, on to the next. So we're getting into talking about the proposed monthly retainer and full retainer for next year, growing off of that $20,000 from this last year and seeing what a full retainer investment could provide for St. Jen. So going back to what we did for that $20,000 was those great results before, and that's on a very minimal hours accounted for you guys. And so with this over double investment that we are presenting to you, we would be able to over double our time dedicated to St. Jen and the stories that we want to tell. So this slide is also in your handout, so bulleted points, you'd be able to see exactly what we're talking through and what that monthly retainer provides. Lauren, do you want to add anything here? We kind of go into more depth later on.
Yeah, I think we'll get into it, but it does have an asterisk up there by the minimum monthly retainer. We've provided discounting pricing as well, so we'll get into that. But that is just kind of our standard. So we really wanted to make it work. We typically don't take on a client for under $4,500 a month. We work often with like larger, cities, tourism bureaus and small towns, but a way in which like smaller businesses pay into that, or restaurant concepts that have multiple locations, so they can kind of break that monthly retainer up between different locations. We fully know that it's a big investment, so we've discounted that pricing as well, but we wanted to make it work regardless, so that's why we kind of tested our waters with the 20K.
Sure.
So when you,
Okay,
so
so-
I have a question for you. You guys, you do call it a retainer. Does that mean you guys are tracking your hours monthly or something? And then if it goes over, you bill on top of that?
We don't. So that was, going back to how I said like large agency didn't make sense. That is a big thing that we decided not to do with the start of the company. So it's all retainer pricing, and we don't bill hourly. So we track our hours internally just so that we can ensure that we're delivering, on all fronts, but there's no additional charge. The retainer price is the retainer price. And you'll never hear us say, if you do call me, but you'll never hear us say, oh, we've hit our hours for this month. I think that's just a really big blocker in like agency settings, and we don't operate that way.
Can I ask why you call it a retainer?
The retainer, I think just because it's monthly and it's the retainer pricing so it's not an annual. We're not presenting it as like we just, in our agreements, it says a 12-month retainer.
Okay.
Keep it as retainer, and then that pricing holds over for a second year, if you'd like.
Lauren or Abby, how many companies or cities are you guys currently working with outside of St. Genevieve?
So we have 15 so we have 2 departments. We have a PR and marketing specific department, and then we have a social media, digital media department. So our digital media department has 15 clients, and our PR team has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, around the same, 16, I want to say. I hope I'm not forgetting someone. That would be really terrible. Abby, am I forgetting someone?
No, you got it, but just for like specificity, we also are working with Explore St. Louis currently, and they are our larger tourism that we're working with currently. And then we are also, while we do work with clients in St. Louis, we are also in the Kansas City market and have become very familiar with their broadcasted journalists and things over there as well. So while we might not be working with the city of Kansas City, we do work with regional outlets in that way.
Thank you. And how many people do you have working in the firm in either of these departments or overlapping?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely let Lauren talk to this, but I am and my manager are with St. Gen, and I am the face of who Erin communicates with regularly. So you guys have a very specialized team that works with you on a daily basis.
Yeah, so we're a company of, I'm just like counting, I'm like, do I know numbers right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think 10 people. And then the founder as well included. So we have, the way that we're set up is based on your title and position within the company. You work on a set like number of accounts, so no one person would work on more than 4 clients. They're kind of like lead on. So it's really important to us that no one is like super overwhelmed. We don't think it serves the client. We don't think it serves the human behind the work. So it's really kind of based on that. Like Abby may have 4 clients, and then her manager may have 2 in addition to that, but they're sharing a workload on some as well.
On the screen that you've got pulled up right now, this is not what you're currently doing? Is that correct? This is what you're proposing?
Yes.
Okay, and are there things I'm assuming there are things in here that you're doing today? Right, so what would be the difference, I guess? Like if, because currently, if we paid $20,000, then so you mentioned that the investment is a little more than double. So of the work that's in that screen, the proposal for $4,500, is that I would just be curious what of those items are in addition to what we are currently getting.
For sure.
Yeah.
There should be a side-by-side as well in your handout that may give you a better look, really side-by-side of like what those services are. But I think Abby, what you were getting ready to probably say, and I'll let you finish on, is you're getting these 2 items. Go ahead.
No, you're okay, you got it. So just showing like what we've been focusing on since we started, and that is our quarterly our quarterly pitching really for journalists for both broadcast locally and for national stories. And then influencers, we've been doing quarterly. So we have been doing we did a spring and then we did a summer influencer for each. And typically, and then going to what a full retainer would achieve, for just those 2 even, we would be doing strategic pitching for monthly and redoing stories and updating content to really focus on what's currently happening in St. John. Like say if there's a big event that's happening that we want to talk about later on in the year, we would be really pushing hard on that to making sure that story's out there. And then for the influencers, we would be doing a lot more frequently. I'll use our Margaritaville Hotel Kansas City client in Kansas City. We do monthly influencer engagement with them, and we host up to 5 influencers a month, I want to say, and more sometimes depending on events. Whereas we have done 2 in the last year with our current hours and retainer, if that makes sense. And going into what we are proposing for the full monthly retainer, this is all that we would be doing. If you would like, we could go line by line, but if you have any specific questions, we're happy to answer.
I was really interested in participation in impactful community events. Abby, knowing what you know about Jeux de Fête, like let's say we had a partnership with Jeux de Fête, like how would you guys kind of come in, flange up with that board, and what would that look like, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, with Jeux de Fête, it could be in any which way you guys would want. But starting with, we would be able to a couple months out start bringing in stories of like local press. So say you would be able to get on to another KSDK a week before the event and really talk about the different vendors that are coming, food, crafts, fair, etc. Different events that you plan during Jeux de Fête. You would be able to get influencers that are pre-promoting on socials, and then you could also invite them to the actual event to be posting on site. Really, the list goes on for Jeux de Fête specifically. And you would be able to really beef up the advertising dollars that you would normally be spending on, say, a billboard or a social media ad, and be able to get that natural, organic storytelling to an audience that is looking for something to do on a weekend like Jeux de Fête.
It seems like that maybe the strategic partnership alignment is all new. Would that be safe to say? Like is that stuff you've already been doing? That's the news. That's mostly the new stuff, right?
That would be new. We also on that first bubble up here, the awards and accolades. We typically do this for hotel clients, and we just keep a running tab of different awards that publications like Travel and Leisure, Forbes do, and we would be actively applying for those to be able to have St. John use those as backup. And then what else is on here that we could say? Like I said before, we would really be beefing up the pitching and the influencers to be able to amplify those stories more often.
To give you an example, a typical client based on like our team's KPIs, for example, they like their KPI tracking, they report on this every week. One of their KPI is 4 to 6 tier 1 media hits per client a month. So at minimum, that is what you should be receiving versus a month versus 3 qualified tiered media hits from, Jan half one essentially.
Are you talking about the influencers?
No, just like the everything pretty much. Right?
What's a qualified media hit?
Yeah, what's a qualified media hit? What does that mean?
We say like tier 1 their KPIs. So that is things like national media hits, things that have really high value. I would say something qualified isn't probably the right word, but we call them like tier ones, really great media hits that have high viewership and awareness and eyes and can really try to convert people, versus something that would be lower would be inclusion in like a newsletter that has low viewership. It's great, we love it, we're just not going to say that's the tier one hit.
So I'm sorry to do this to you. I just want to ask some questions, but the one thing that kind of popped in my head right now thinking about this, you mentioned, to increase the engagement with the influencers, which I don't think is a bad idea. And I own a local hotel and restaurant, and I've been involved in those a few times, and we've donated, night stays in the hotel, and we donated the dinners and things like that. Now, if we had 4 of those a month, that would get a little more expensive for us donating some stuff. So how does that play into this? Because while I do think that I'm sure it'd be hard for me, I don't really say no to very many people, so I probably wouldn't say no, but I could see that being something that, depending on who it is and what it is and how expensive it is, that it might be hard for people to do that 4 times a month,
For sure.
Investment.
Yes, and we completely understand, like Lauren was just saying, the investment of that time and of that product. And we would definitely be spacing these out across the community. We wouldn't be coming back to the Audubon over and over, asking unless it made sense for that influencer that's visiting. So we would try to spread the love and spread the community awareness for the other participating businesses. And if we ask, please tell us no if it doesn't make sense for you. Like, we are so open to that conversation.
And I would say also, don't hesitate to ask either. I don't want to say that. I don't want you to not ask. I mean, because obviously I'm we would be happy to help in most cases, but as long as you're okay if we say no sometimes, we just.
Oh yeah.
I think also we can have that conversation. I mean, quite frankly, we're used to working with like larger hotels, like brands, Marriott brands, that sort of thing, and chefs who just don't want to deal with it. So we're used to hearing no, that's no problem. But I will say that it's all for consideration as well. So what we've been doing with our limited time is we've been going after the people who will do it for trade with the best results possible for you and city, and giving them kind of this swoop of storytelling where they can encompass like everything in one. But if we're doing more of these, we can also just ask the right people to only cover the hotel. Hey, we're bringing you here, but we want all of your content to be about your stay. And so there's a little higher value for that trade as well.
Yeah.
If you're interested, or say no.
Yeah.
So we only have 10 minutes, by the way. I think this meeting will cut us off because the version of Zoom that we have. But do you mind spending like a minute explaining what kind of work you guys do as far as the event programming, development, and execution, and the participation in the community events? I mean, I know you mentioned like doing some things to market those events, but is there anything more that you guys do in there?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of our clients host festivals and events. We've kind of just gotten really looped in that way. So in addition to what we would do to market those, I mean, we would start asking questions about 6 months out. And if there was a committee that wanted us to be a part of the ideation of it, we'd be more than happy to join those meetings. And then we would start to offer really unique kind of ideas or solutions for more foot traffic, or really unique kind of offerings of ways that we could partner with people, and anything we're recommending, we would do that work. So we're not just showing up and saying, here are all of our ideas, like now go execute. If we recommend it, we can make it happen, or we'll at least try. So we use that network that we have to make those community connections and come up with really kind of unique offerings of things that, like, hey, this could really drive people. What if we did this thing and tried that out? And maybe we partner with like such and such biking community, and we make that connection, and then we collaborate and make that work. So we would start 6 months out just kind of having conversations, asking questions, and then I would say 3 months out, we're really in there with you as as much as that, committee or group would want us to be involved, making connections, sitting in on those meetings, up until marketing the event. So as an example, I don't know if you've heard of the Festival of Nations, but it's the largest cultural event in St. Louis. It brings about 100,000 attendees. We've worked with them for the last, 2026? They didn't do it in 2020. So the last 5 years, we're coming up on that. And we've worked with them 6 months out and 3 months out to really make an impact for foot traffic and sales. Did that answer?
Yeah, I think so. I have more questions, but we'll do it offline. I have some other questions, but it's going to lead us into a rabbit trail of stuff, so I'll wait.
I'm sure you guys don't have the time, but I've got the time. So.
Yeah, we have probably 7 minutes now. So I don't want to cut you guys short, or make you cut it short, so I'll let you keep going, Abby. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Any other questions on this from anyone else? I'm trying to move the next. Okay. This is with a $40,000 investment, so just a slightly smaller, but still talking about that larger storytelling, larger influencer engagement, just sans the event coordination that Lauren just talked through. So any questions on this? We can go to the next one.
What is an FAM trip? Or is that just family?
Yeah. So a FAM trip is a familiarization trip. So in this scenario, we would be able to have, say, up to 10 influencers come down for a day. Lauren or I or my manager, Melanie, would be able to come with them and really help be able to coordinate a lot of different types of stories with these influencers at a lot of different types of community businesses and make sure things are tailored to them. But it would just be like a familiarization trip for a bunch of St. Louis or regional, say like Edwardsville might have an influencer, that kind of thing.
And not just influencers, it's media. I think the Travel and Leisure is the perfect example of that. So we really curated that. We fed her the stories. We introduced her to the people and really told her the stories underneath what's just naturally comfortable to say, hi, here's who I am and here's what I do, like knowing the background and being able to source the story so that it turns into a story like that. So it's often with the intent of something to come out of it.
Right, and just a little storytelling, like when we went for the KSDK, when I went out there, it's not just, okay, we got you hooked up with this news outlet, you're going to show up here at this time. Abby was there beforehand. They had prepped me with all these questions that ended up being the exact questions that I was asked because they fed the news channel the questions as well. So there's a real hand-holding that Jasper Paul has done this whole time. And really, for someone like myself that's got a lot of things going on, it's really great to be able to step up and be confident. And I think that's probably, if you've heard me talk in meetings like this and you watch that interview, it's like the most prepared I've ever been. So I think I knocked that out of the park, but it wasn't by some fluke. So.
That's our daily, so thank you so much for recognizing that.
Yeah, really, it's almost like it's imperceptible how, they just have such a good service mentality, and it's been so easy to work with them that you almost take it for granted. But there is a ton of work and preparation that goes into this, so I have no doubt that all of our $20,000 worth of hours were eaten up and then some, so.
We were happy. That's all I'll say.
Hopefully, yeah.
We were.
Yeah. Got to flex my St. Jen muscles as well as my PR muscles, so it's been good. Okay, cool. This is honestly the exact same thing that we just showed you guys with that full retainer, so I don't think we need to drain this, unless there are additional questions.
The difference here is that this includes event.
Thank you, yes.
So that's our standard.
$4,500 a month retainer.
Right, for $4,000 a month instead.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. And then just sharing some additional agency capabilities. Everything that we've done for St. Jen so far has been under our PR umbrella, and so this is just showing you additional things that could happen through our digital lens. So this is in addition to everything we were just talking about. So this would be an additional investment of $1,500 a month, and this would really give St. Jen's social media presence a little bit of a boost, and bring that brand voice and content framework to life. If there's any questions here, it is a completely different subject than what we were just talking about, so fully understand if there are questions.
Can you just talk about, real quick about, and we might get cut off in the middle of it, but can you talk real quickly about what you see in our social media that might need this service, or how you guys could plug in to that, I guess? Because I think we've got one of the best social medias by look and by our schedule of many small towns. So.
I don't disagree with that, and quite frankly, that's why I added this as like such a small piece. So our standard client, about 45% of our current PR clients are also social media clients on a full scale. So what your team, Erin, is doing is like what our team then is running for their social accounts as well. And that's a $3,000 a month partnership. I guess I'm rethinking my retainer language now. Partnership. But that's why we didn't recommend that full partnership with you. Just to be totally transparent, we don't think that you need it, but we do see an opportunity where we can be support to your team. And I know it's going to cut us off, but Abby, I do want you to be able to talk about it. So I don't know, maybe go fast.
No, it's okay. And I can also provide additional things, but we would be able to really provide a background schedule, a background shot list to be for the social team in St. Jen to be able to produce and be able to work towards the goals of building community and building follower accounts, being a social media that a visitor would be able to come to and be like, okay, yes, when I'm in St. Jen, I'm going to be doing this, this, and this on this weekend, because you've been able to organically create content that we have given the storytelling.
That's that. It has ended.
So was that 18,000 on top of the 48?
I think so. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe one of these days, but.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I hope that was educational, impactful, all the above. So far, David and I have done.
A little bit more.
Come back.
Yes.
That's really
Nice. Yeah. David and I have, done a preliminary budget of which we were going to increase Jasper Paul's retainer from that 20,000 to 40,000. So I would think, if we were looking to do this, that $8,000 should come from maybe some partnerships or something like that, and that's something my department can figure out. But yeah, thoughts? Anything that?
So she said that they're gonna, since they're going a little more than double the amount, the price, that they would be doing a little more than double the work. So if they were doing $4,500 worth of work for $20,000 for the year, does that mean that they're gonna do $10,000 worth of work now? Since they're, you know what I mean?
I don't quite.
Yeah, it's good. Well, she said, well, because to me it feels a little bit like they discounted us a lot, and that now they're just trying to get that discount back. And
Is there really more?
Is there really more? That's what I'm curious. Is there really actually more? Are they
That's a fair
really?
question.
Do they have more than double the work? I mean, they would have to do what they're doing now plus what they're doing, double it. According to the way they said it. She could have said it differently, where she was saying that we discounted heavily the first year, so the second year, we're gonna be a little closer to what our normal asking price is. That would have been a little different approach, but she did say that they
They're
were
gonna do
doubling the
more.
work, yeah,
You did ask the question, and I was gonna ask the same question about what are you doing now
compared to what.
versus what this is saying we're gonna get for it. And
Right.
that's kind of why I asked
Yeah.
how many people work there and,
Yeah.
how many clients they have.
And not only that, one of the things I wasn't gonna go into with her, just because I feel like that would have drug out, is can their services be discounted and offered to people in town? Like if there is an event that somebody's wanting to throw, and these guys can help them with marketing, because we are already a client of theirs as the city, would they do it at a discount? There was value in that, if they would do it at a discounted price for somebody here in town, and if it would be covered by the TTC grant. That would kind of fill some of that, it would help some people do some, so there's, so if they didn't double the service line, at least they offer discounted pricing to the people here in town that would want to do something like
Well, and
that.
that might give some of the organizations here in town an incentive to start promoting, because she said 6 months out. I'm thinking, well, most people in town that are doing an event aren't even thinking about
Yeah,
it
they
6 months
don't know
out.
the
But they
events.
should be, you really should be starting to promote it. So that might help people
And if it's
promote
something they,
things 6 months out, and then 3 months out. Most people start just 2 months out,
Yeah,
even,
right.
maybe not.
and if it's a city offered it's offered through the city, it feels, if I was doing this on my own out in town and said I need to find a company to help me do some marketing, they don't know where to start, we don't know where to start, but if it's somebody that comes from the city, is vetted already and discounted, and, then I think that probably would be something that people would be I would be interested in it. Outside of some of the things they do at no cost anyhow, right? They would help us find an influencer and stuff, I think, just because we are in this city, but some of the marketing strategies around some of the events that we do, if maybe they would be interested in helping with that and us paying them a small fee, that would be a qualifying advertising fee.
Absolutely.
Sorry, getting a text from
And then that brings value to that agreement, which when they do it, they'd probably do it anyhow.
I'm the new
That's why I
guy here,
also
so I'm trying to
asked
get caught up a little bit. How much, I know we got a discount amount for that first time. I know it felt like the first 6 months was kind of a ramp up before they even could deliver anything.
Sure.
So was it discounted because they recognized there was kind of a ramp up period?
Right.
Or are we truly, because we had our, I'm gonna say third and fourth quarter visits, but we didn't get much out of the first 2 quarters because they were still getting to know us, even though Abby's got a history with the
Yeah,
town.
sure.
Versus,
Well, we started late.
Okay.
Well, no.
Again, I'm the new guy trying to get caught up.
Because when we went out for our RFQ, we said we had $20,000.
That's it. So, yeah, basically, 5 or 6 companies, we have, when we're spending more than 15,000, we have to put it out to like a bid.
Yeah.
So, 5 or 6 companies,
When it's more than one.
$15,000. So this being $20,000, this was like part of my marketing line. And I was like, once I got their pitch, I was like, oh, this sounds like something we should do. They were the ones that put the idea in my head, but we had 5 or 6 entities that went for this, and David and I went through them all, and they just seemed like I like that they were rooted in St. Louis. I like that they had a St. Gen person, but also just their work was a little bit more qualified than the rest of them. And like I said, the service part of it has been incredible. I mean, they've been right there. And like I said, a lot of the preparation, the hand-holding, I can imagine if they do ramp up their work, which Abby normally has either Melanie or Lauren on call with us all the time and support. Do I feel like they could ramp up and double the work? I do. I'd like to see it. I mean, it's one of those things that's like, is it going to happen? Given how prepared they've been so far and how out in front they've been in front of all of these, and just their relationships with these influencers, I think they could. So I think that's a heavy possibility. We don't know until we walk through it. But these are all great questions.
The events piece is a big one.
Yeah.
The idea that you had about maybe helping some local businesses, whether that's museums or hotels or ice cream shops, something to talk about for sure. And the investment that they're making in social media, even though they list it as a social media as a separate charge, they're already doing that, some of that, whether it be influencers or otherwise. And Aaron already, I think, has social media, like they mentioned, better under control than some other small cities that they see. But I also think, I'm just going to say it out loud, you're getting extra investment here because Abby Stolzer is invested in St. Genevieve. So.
Yeah.
Well, and, for me, the influencers are great. I understand that that can be a strain on the businesses as well, so that was great that you brought that up. But the media part of it, if they just ramped up the press releasing and getting, we have so many events. If we could just say, here's our events calendar. We need help getting stories, getting press releases out. And again, because of the fact that people aren't thinking about it until 3 months in advance or promoting it 2 months in advance or whatever, it makes for a sort of chaotic thing. If there was someone outside of me that could help, okay, this is how you structure this, help me reach out to people. And that's what they're great about as well, is, they've really taken all of the influencer thing and all of the emails that we give them, and, they create the itineraries, they reach out to the businesses, they keep me in the loop, but they really, like I said, they structure everything. They make some method out of the madness that this town can be, because we have a lot. We really do.
The hard part is that this is a really new way of marketing in general. I feel like, this social media and media in general and influencer and all this stuff, it's, we're kind of shooting from the hip a little bit, hoping.
I think it's the way of marketing.
Well, maybe that's what I mean is like, are we making the right choice as far as who and how to identify quality? There hasn't been enough of these people and doing this for long enough to know, for them to for people to sort through who's doing it right and who's not. And
I would disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I would. We actually went with them because of, they had a lineup that they presented to us, and it was like, you could go through their social, like the Alexis Sodas. She used to be a newscaster, it was super professional. It was super organized. Influencers are generally not like that, She commanded the camera, the production quality and value, and that is layers above. And, we look through their whole roster of people that they had relationships with, and it's like, this is the style we need for St. Gen. And that's I'm going to say that is my expertise is I was trained in art. When you have that sort of background, you're basically taught how to look visually and to find quality in things, and that's what I have. And like I said, that was the real thing that set them apart, was they had real quality people that I think aligns with our brand, because we got to be very protective of the St. Gen brand. We've got to steward this little baby forward. We got to make sure we make the partnerships with people that are aligned, that are going to make our brand really sing. And I'm very super protective of it, and I wouldn't have just handed this to anybody. So I will say.
Maybe I was kind of just talking about myself, my own perspective. I just haven't worked with very many of these companies.
Well, and the other thing I think would be interesting, are they a fairly new company? Have they been around for a while, or do you know?
It's been 8 years.
Is it 8? Okay.
She said she's been with the company for 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, I was asking about other cities that they worked with. I know they mentioned Kansas City, but do you know if they've worked with other smaller cities where we've seen improvements?
No, and that's a good question. I think this was, the problem with being a small city is we are generally the experimental market.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was wondering.
So the fact that they work with Explore St. Louis is incredible, because that's a big brand. But yeah, I think we're the first small town that they're working with, and again, I think Brock is correct in the fact that maybe this is a bit new. I don't think a lot of small towns are getting on this really, and that's the cool part.
So really what you're saying is, since we are the first, this is sort of experimental. It's also another opportunity to say, hey, this could be a big feather in your cap as well from a marketing perspective.
We've got some leverage,
If you do
yeah,
some things,
absolutely.
so from a discount perspective, if we wanted to go with them, maybe there's.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything with their connection with Explore St. Louis that's helping connect,
That's what I'm
promoting St. Gen through the St. Louis as a regional tourism piece?
As soon as they said that, and it was kind of news to me that I think Explore St. Louis was kind of a new client for them because they weren't on their initial list. So that could have been within the last year and a half. That's immediately what I thought. It was like, wow, we need to really, like, is there ways to, I mean, St. Louis and St. John are so connected. I just got an email from the Missouri Division of Tourism. They're doing a fam trip for a bunch of French media, and they're going to start in Hannibal, St. Louis, St. John, go all the way down to Louisiana on the Mississippi River. But like that kind of stuff with St. Louis, I mean, you know, you have Florissant that has some very historic homes in the same French style. Like, why aren't we doing more? And that's what I'm hoping. One of the big things, them being in St. Louis was a big thing, and them having the relationships in St. Louis. Whether they're going to connect us automatically or organically, or is it going to be something where we have to kind of like push and be like, hey, by the way, I mean, I hope that's something they would eventually put together. Like, hey, I think we've got enough clout with the Explore St. Louis. I mean, the Gateway Arch National Park in our National Historical Park. I mean, that's a no-brainer as well. You know, as far as connecting those, and that's just. But yeah, I mean, it's relationships. So, you know, being with them is not a bad thing from that perspective either.
Years ago, Chamber hosted a fam trip for when the wineries were all coming into play, like when they all started popping up, Crown and Cave and all Chalmette, all of them. And we hosted a fam trip with a group, and they were specifically coming to the region just for the wine country. And it was phenomenal. It was 4 days, and they stayed in town. 2 of the days that they stayed were like sponsored or hosted by Southern Hotel and Somewhere in Time at the time, bed and breakfast, and then the other 2, then they just stayed out in like wine country, like Chalmette. So it was very worthwhile. I've done a couple fam trips, but it's been a while since we've done one.
Yeah, I think what's, you know, to kind of sum it up, I think you know, they make that $48,000 spend look really enticing, but I wonder if we did go, because like, you know, it does list some extra things under the $40,000 spend, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doubling the money there.
Well, what if we,
You know what I mean?
if we came to them and said, let's do the 48,000 for the 40, and we'll introduce you to places out here in town that could use your services at an additional discounted fee to generate some revenue.
I don't mind doing that. I think that would be good.
And I really hope people would want to take advantage of it. You know, if they had the opportunity to use a vetted marketing firm to promote something.
Or is there, do we look at as a TTC starting with the 40,000 or however we fund it, and then trying to find other partnerships or organizations that we can, let's just say we can find 8 different groups or events that are willing to pitch in and pay $1,000 each to either promote an event or activity or a business or a partnership, and a way to kind of stretch those dollars, because they have done a nice job of stretching from 40 to 48 what you get there. But I think if we can get some buy-in from some other folks on pitching in on an event or activity or promoting something that really is partnership focused to help kind of put some skin in the game.
Agreed.
That might be a way to approach that. I don't want to use.
And that was kind of the thing I was mainly thinking is like, yeah, let's get with these other organizations and event holders and hey, would you pitch in something for this?
I will say, just looking at their numbers, like on the Great Day St. Louis, and I assume probably the others are inflated. I don't think there's 1.1 million people watching Great Day St. Louis, and we've
I was
done a
thinking the same thing.
paid segment, and it did not cost $11,000 to do a paid
Yeah,
segment
sure.
on there. So,
Well, I can tell you I did the math on that when they were talking about it, and they're just using a 0.09% return on that. Those numbers are the same rate, if you took all these and divided them out, they're all the same rate. So they just used a blanket number to come up with
I hope they're
that.
not paying a lot for that software.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just cracked it.
I think it's
They
0.09%
did say they used a software.
Right. Mhm.
of the UVM is
It just
dollars.
seems inflated. And maybe the software determines the UVM, and then the value is just based off.
What was UVM again? The viewers?
Yeah.
It's the audience reach.
Yeah.
Audience reach.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know we had that many people in the greater St. Louis area.
Yeah.
All my aunts and uncles saw it though, so that was good.
They did?
My wife's aunts and uncles, yeah. So, worth it to me.
Yeah, this is, it's interesting.
Well, we got it out before, well, we did have to nail that budget down. Do we,
So what do you need from us?
that's a good question.
Do we have
need
to approve that right now,
Do we
or do-
need an approval or anything to spend that money? I'm sorry to ask.
Well, what you and I talked about was, this was part of general revenue, but the plus ups were gonna.
Yeah.
This is part of what we told the county we would spend money on was marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And is this something that TTC wants to partner with the city on?
yeah. So 20,000 would come from the general revenue budget, 20,000 would come from what we get from the countywide transient tax.
Through TTC.
Through TTC, yep, yep. That's why I'm bringing it to you, because you.
When does that money start coming in though,
The 6% you're talking about.
from the county? Yeah.
I mean, I would expect
Technically,
to
they-
see some by December.
Yeah, technically the end of Q3 is when they're due.
But we started collecting July 1.
For
entities.
bookings that happened July 1st and
And
on,
on,
yeah.
Right, this
right.
is not gonna come in, I mean, microtel might be different. So that's a little different. But the other ones, they didn't start collecting it until July 1. There's probably some that are gonna be behind and don't start collecting it until August 1. Then they're gonna make those payments in August, September, October.
Yeah.
And the county has a month to then turn around and give us our percentage. So that's why I'm saying December.
December.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
probably fair. So is there a termination date for this agreement that we have currently? Or is it ongoing?
It's just it is a contract of some sort.
Yeah,
so.
there is, and they would probably renew the contract beginning August 1st, since that's the beginning of our fiscal year.
So then, did they already renew it for the current 20,000?
We haven't yet, no.
So technically, we're not under contract with them right now?
Well, we still are until October 1st for this 20,000.
Oh, until October 1st, okay.
Yeah.
Or
You
sep-
said August 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, okay.
September 30th and then October 1st
Okay.
is when we would kick in with this new contract.
Okay, so we need to make a decision before.
And we also have the budget that needs to be kind of locked in
Yeah.
here soon. So,
The
if you,
budget itself, I mean, we've made a general budget.
that's right, yeah,
You
yeah.
can come back to the
Yeah.
TTC after we finalize the city budget to go over those things. But I think what you're asking tonight is, would you like to use Jasper Fall in addition to the cities using Jasper Fall?
Yeah, and go that $20,000 investment, and then we find that other 8,000, or just go with the 40,000. But I think, or make it contingent on finding that additional 8,000.
Wait, so, do I understand, so the city, regardless of whether the TTC agrees and approves for the additional 20, the city's gonna spend 20?
I think you put that in your budget, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's in the general revenue budget, not the TTC budget. It's
So
two
they
separate.
do have an option to stay at the 20, okay.
Sounds like it.
That's what I wasn't picking up as well. I thought it was, oh, hey, here's your new one, this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, no, I'm
We
just-
gave you this discount rate year one, but that was it.
Yeah, no.
Ah, I see. I get it. Okay.
So essentially, the increase would be off of the TTC funds.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Since it's already in the general.
Well, do we have a month to make the decision until the next meeting so we can talk to them about some of the things we talked about? Or is that okay? I mean, is that okay if we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just needs to be said, you know, that we budgeted 85,000. Okay, so that's based on, you're bringing in $30,000 annually on the 2%. So in theory, in the city, that would then produce 90,000. Then there's county, but we only get a certain percentage of that. So it just, that is like 10,000 foot view math. So we stuck with 85,000, okay? Of that 85, when we pitched this to the county, we said we're going to spend X, Y, Z on marketing, we're going to spend X, Y, Z on search engine optimization, we're going to spend X, Y, Z on promoting the county fair. We put some specifics in there. So we'll have to select some sort, the TTC will have to select some sort of marketing to do with those dollars countywide.
Gotcha.
And Jasper Ball would fit that countywide piece, as would others.
Yeah.
But I think we've had good results with Jasper. We've had good results in the city with Jasper Ball.
Yeah, and there's so many things that aren't getting, story, like blasted out with that kind of earned media, like a story in St. Louis Magazine or something like that. We're just, things like the Bloomsdale Fun Farm, even our national park, the French colonial America. I think this, and like I said, I really like that form of marketing. I think it just pays dividends. So.
Well, we're board of majority, so I mean, if somebody wants to make a motion to approve it, and somebody wants to second it and all in favor, then we would do that, I don't want to stop something from moving forward if we don't need it.
Don't you think the questions should be answered first before you guys?
I would
make
think
that
so.
decision?
I would think so.
And if we have time to make that decision and
Yeah, if we have
I
time.
think
I think you
that's
should
more
do.
prudent than trying to rush it tonight.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm not either. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. No, I didn't think you were. I was talking through it. I think it makes sense to just let them, I think it makes sense to go back to them and say, the board wants they have these questions, It's totally fair to do that.
I also liked having a face to a name, because I haven't met either of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a good thing.
Yep.
It would also be great for them to be here at some point in
Yeah.
time too, just to give some
Well,
sort of
they
updates.
did come and do that thing, but they came and we had put out a message to everybody that they were going to come in town and give a presentation.
I think she just made a board meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did not
I'm
know,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, here
No,
for
no, like
this.
if
Oh,
for
in
future, like,
person.
oh, hey, here's a quick update or something.
Okay, I thought you meant like for the town.
No, I just hadn't met them.
Thinking of you as Rebecca from Sarah's Ice Cream and not Rebecca from
No.
TTC board.
And maybe next month they could do that. Maybe next month if we
Yeah,
have a
I think
decision,
they would.
wouldn't be a bad idea for them to be here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So do we know the questions that we're going to ask
I think we
them?
should probably come up with those via email and send them to Aaron. I'm okay with that. I'll send you some questions I have.
Sounds good to me.
You guys okay with that?
Do you mind like sending it to the whole
Sure, of
group
course,
so we
yeah,
all
yeah,
can
yeah,
like
of
be
course.
like, oh yeah, that's a great question. Like
yeah.
we can.
So we don't duplicate it.
Don't duplicate, but then maybe we can also add
Yeah,
to
add
it.
to it.
Is there, well, yeah, that's right. There are some limitations on how much we can kind of talk.
So
Whole group.
you're in the same headspace, I know. If you all want to share questions with Aaron, that's perfectly fine. Just don't have a conversation via email,
Yeah.
because then you're having a meeting.
It's gotta be public.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if we just send him the
Yep.
question and then it stops there?
So can the board send me the questions and I can send them because I technically don't have a vote and I'm not considered a quorum
As long as everybody's not emailing each other about these questions.
as a board?
Unless you want to have that right here, yes.
Oh, sunshine law.
So I'm gonna send questions to Dina.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna send questions to Dina.
You go right ahead, I'll send them. Do you need my email address?
I don't think so. I have it memorized.
All right.
Cool.
Still chewing
stuff.
through this guy. Going to old business and kind of going back up. We had a committee get together
Hey, Aaron, do you guys want to vote on the grant?
Oh,
Yeah.
We
sure.
kind of got,
I thought we
yeah.
were doing that before, actually.
Oh, we got sidetracked
We did.
because they
We did,
wanted
hopped
to
on.
screen.
That's right. Okay. Thank
She's
you.
been a trooper.
Yeah, sorry. It's gone a long time.
Was there, I hate to ask this question, was there a rule change on nonprofit versus?
No, we
There
don't
wasn't?
think we did anything on that.
So
There
does-
is still a necessity for them to come back and say, here's what we spent, here's the receipts, and you get 50% of
Yeah.
whatever that receipt is, up to $1,000 is what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the change, I think.
Real quick addendum, Carrie Knoll from the Jure de Fête Committee was going to come tonight, but she couldn't make it, so she will come next month.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We're talking about your grant.
I'll second.
All in favor? So moved.
Could we actually make, could we make audible ayes when we
Yes.
go to for a vote?
Yeah.
Next time, sorry, it just weirds me out.
Yeah, me too. I agree. So.
Can I just ask, I guess you're going to approve it at the $1,000?
Yes, except that they still have to come in with receipts after the event, and it'll be 50% of whatever that
That total
actual
is.
spend was.
So they don't
it's
get
up
the
to
money
1,000.
until afterwards
They don't,
still.
correct.
So same with Jure de Fête,
She's
they're
got-
not gonna get
yeah,
the money
Kathy
until
knows.
Carrie comes?
Yep,
Can I tell you one thing though?
yeah.
I did forget this, and I don't want you all to get the misconception that we did this intentionally. If you look here on this, we do have you listed on here. We went out to have these folders or these flyers made out of Lemon Theory. We had to do it that day. So Kathy and I both made the decision that when we go out and pass out these flyers, we promote St. Genevieve anyway. So we left it on there.
We don't find that presumptuous at all. That was-
Well,
for
But
doing
thank
this.
you for mentioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know,
Yeah.
it is a question.
Yeah.
Was the original not signed?
And thank you, by the way.
It's not.
You're welcome.
So I'll get Kathy to come in and
It's,
sign that.
it'll be
You're on
fine,
the
because she
board,
will.
aren't you?
I am, I'm secretary and treasurer.
Would you mind signing the application?
No, I can
Do you
sign
have the original? I hate to
Yeah.
throw this in the middle of the meeting after.
No, that's
Awesome.
fine, that's good.
Who's gonna get the original?
Thank you.
And so that was for 1,000.
We appreciate you guys' help.
Up to.
tremendously.
Yeah, up to, yeah.
Very interesting.
Every Tuesday. I threw Aaron under the bus there, so I apologize.
No. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Want to meet me at the podium?
Sure.
Just,
Right there.
name, signature.
You need what I am.
Date and title right there.
They actually are a registered nonprofit, it's just not marked on their application.
Oh, really? Oh.
So there's Nest, I think is the applicant.
Yes, it is.
So that's a nonprofit.
Oh, she has it marked as corporation.
Well, it says corporation on the W-9 as well.
Well, it's a nonprofit corporation, it'd be a nonprofit corporation. The W-9 doesn't indicate the sales tax status.
Right,
Oh, really?
but
I worked for the YMCA for 30 years.
yeah, that's
so-
weird though, because when we do ours, we check other and put nonprofit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
At
You
least
don't
that's
have
what
to
our
stick around
accountant
anymore unless you
makes
find
us.
this,
Maybe our
unless you
accountant.
find this interesting.
I do find it interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you being here. It's great.
all right.
We're so
I
unused.
told my wife to come today.
You need us to leave, is my question.
No.
No, no.
She's hanging out at the house.
Hey,
She deserves some time off. though.
good for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, so jumping into old business, trolley routes, there's some design things on here that you need to disregard because this is still working on this. But we had a committee get together with Sam, Oberly of the Trolley, to come up with some routes that could potentially work. And it was
Complicated.
It was complicated,
It is
absolutely.
very complicated.
But I think we came up with something good. We're still going to have one more meeting with Sam to kind of finalize all this. There's some other. We're also working. I'm still waiting to hear back from Andrea of Postcard Cabins, so that we could see if they wanted to be a stop on the route. And we're looking at the dates of November 7th and November 14th to kind of do a trial run and start promoting that in September to see what we can do. One of the big things I think we're still looking down is, although I've been told it's going to be easy, is finding some sort of point of sale and who's going to carry that point of sale, whether it's going to be the city or Sam. But this is what we're looking at, calling it Scenic Sips. And the first loop that we think will be more of a hop-on, hop-off situation is running 2 trolleys, one from downtown St. John to the Dewdrop Inn, and then from Dewdrop Inn out to Chateau, Postcard Cabins, and the Terrace at French Village, and coming back.
Aaron, what would they be doing at Postcard Cabins?
Just picking up and dropping off.
Oh,
Yeah.
people that are staying there.
Yeah, so it would be, since they're make up kind of our biggest county lodging entity, it'd be a good point of entry instead of people having to just go downtown to do something or do drop in, they can get picked up and it'll be one of those activities. And I heard Andrea did was it at the chamber? Did she do came and did a talk?
Yeah, she did. She came in May. Well, she didn't come to speak. It was Sandra Caput who was doing her program, but she was at that meeting, and then she kind of, like, we had enough time. We just let her kind of do her thing. And then she did a great job. And then this month, actually, August, we went out there after our August membership meeting, and we spent the afternoon out there with them.
Isn't it cool?
They're
really cool.
It was the most serene thing I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's wonderful out there.
Yeah, it was very peaceful. There's 40 cabins. That
They're
night,
awesome
the day we
cabins.
were there, I think 22 of them were sold, or they had occupants. And the amount of wildlife that we seen was unreal. Like while we were standing there, it was pretty neat. So I enjoyed it very much.
Well, Mary Oberly of the Trolleys said she talked with Andrea, and she was very excited about the idea of getting the trolleys out there.
Oh, really?
Okay, good. So hopefully, once I touch base with her, we can.
We're
kind of
actually doing
finalize
a
that.
ribbon cutting for them in October.
In October?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Wow.
Do you mind if I talk about this?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
You want me to, were you going to ask them?
No, I was just gonna say, we have stuff going on in November on both of these dates or one of these dates?
The 7th is Pecanapalooza.
Oh, okay.
And that's deer
14th, you mean?
season weekend, opening
Yeah.
season of deer season.
Yeah, we talked about that. But
Yeah, these dates got moved many times, and this is just kind of what I landed on.
Sam's
'cause-
a hunter too, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, right. He's
So
he's gonna shoot from the trolley window, so it'll be fine. It's all the wildlife you guys are seeing.
No, you're going to the postcard cabins, right? So it's fine.
Hey, hold on one second.
Please keep your gun rifle indoors.
So it was tough coming up, but this was a lot more complicated. I mean, we sat in here, talking about it one day, and then when we got, in a small group and talked about it, it was like, wow, this is not easy because we have to make it worthwhile for everybody involved. And so this, what it ended up boiling down to is these two concepts, which is the trolley stays with the person and they just go on one trip through the day, boom, 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 boom. And then the other one, which is the North Loop, this is like a hop on, hop off. So the South Loop is the trolley stays with you the whole time, and the North Loop is a hop on, hop off. So the thought is that from downtown to Dewdrop, that would just go back and forth, right? And then the other trolley too would just do that loop constantly, and they almost meet at the same time at Dewdrop, right? And so people could hop on, hop off. And what that gives us in this one is the opportunity to have more than just the 25 people that fit on one shuttle. Because on the South Loop, you're capped out at 25 people.
We talked about doing a big round loop with a couple of shuttles that would run, but the problem is you'd be capped at 50 people. And it's like, what makes that investment?
Because people would get stuck. You couldn't fit more than 25 people in one shuttle. So, if you were doing a big loop that was like, an hour and a half loop,
2-hour loop,
you would get stuck on a shuttle or stuck out at one of the wineries if there wasn't enough. And then to get from Charlottesville back to downtown, then back out there to pick somebody up, you're talking about them waiting and riding way too long. So we got down to these two choices and thought, well, let's just do them both and add a third shuttle and do one if people want to go the South Loop and go out towards Charlottesville and then have the shuttle stay with them, and then one can go back and forth from downtown to Dewdrop, and then that one go from Dewdrop to those other.
So is that South Loop expected to be just $25 and that's what it is, or?
It's $25 a person, up to 25 people.
Up to 25 people.
So it's not a $5 every ride?
No,
Okay,
it's
so that's.
$25.
Yeah, no, that was what I was
I just
talking
wanted
about.
to, I didn't know
Well,
if there was an idea, like some people might just be like, oh, I just want to go from downtown to, I don't know.
And then stay there, not go back.
Yeah, I don't.
You'd be stuck.
Right.
Well, so
I guess you would.
And you are getting into some of the things that were the conversation points, right? Which is this a transportation service, or is this a service to take people to the wineries?
Right.
So, and which that's a great question. What is it? Because what are we trying to do? We're trying to create some transportation, which I think we are actually trying to do that. So having both of them, I think, is kind of cool to give you kind of both opportunities to see which ones.
Where in downtown St. John are we picking up?
We haven't made that
Just-
decision
okay,
yet.
just
Either Argonne's
somewhere.
parking lot or the Valley parking lot or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, or, yeah, we're working on it.
No biggie. I just didn't know if that's fine.
Probably the busiest place, and so it would be Sarah's. They'll come right out.
At that garden spot there. They can all sit under the pergola. The
Wait
new
a
pergola.
second.
It's not a bad idea.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The covered area.
The old pergola.
The new covered.
Yeah.
Like the new covered area.
Pergola
It's a
formerly
stationary
known as a
pergola.
pergola.
It's a covered.
It's Sarah's garden.
Yeah, it's Sarah's garden.
But I do think that it would be cool to have this used. I mean, I don't want to take advantage of the situation, but I think we should take advantage of the situation that it could be used as a transportation service. Why not?
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get into town, take the shuttle on Saturday, from Dewdrop, and
Postcard.
What's that? Even though,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. You can come into.
Drink.
That's
or
right.
eat or
That's right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take you back as long as you get there by 6
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if somebody from the post cabins got on that shuttle in the morning and got dropped off at Dewdrop, within 15 minutes the other shuttle would be there heading back into St. John.
Well, and it would be great too for any of the businesses downtown to say, oh, we offer this. You just go to the pickup stop and you can have this all day experience.
On the fly.
On the fly, or you can do this other thing.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I think the biggest change was that we were originally talking 2 trolleys and we had to move to 3. That was when it kind of changed a little bit on what the dynamic
And
was.
what I'm, when we talk again with Sam and Mary, what I'm hoping is this South Loop is kind of one experience that they offer already. So it's like, will the extra promotion and the visibility and online ticketing help that become something that can, just us doing that, we won't have to supplement it. It'll just be one of those things that, carries forward as like a I don't know, it just picks up their business more.
And I do have to say this because Sam corrected me a few times. There is a difference between the trolley and the shuttle. Like they are two different machines. So the shuttle is what we would be taking on the longer route. That's the all-day route. The trolleys are what we would use for the North Loop. The trolleys would be going back and forth from Dewdrop.
And they look
then
like
around.
a trolley kind of.
And those look like the trolleys. The shuttles are shuttles that are
I
shuttle
think if
buses.
you're, as long as you're explaining that when they are
Yeah,
purchasing
yeah,
it,
yeah. Yeah.
it will be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we feel like a $25 ride all day is a little too expensive? Maybe.
No.
I don't think so.
That's not-
I don't
Absolutely
think
not.
so.
Way.
To
Good.
not have to deal with the idea of driving, worrying about anything. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I would pay that in a heartbeat.
So
100%.
Sam's rule was that as long as they got 10, they could do it, right? At $25 a person, that would cover their cost and stuff to break even or maybe lose a little.
For the, not for the.
For the South Loop, right, for the South Loop. So I think the cities, our contribution to this is going to be the offset of the cost on these. So if they do, I can't imagine that we're only going to have 8, but if we did, then the city would cover the difference to make sure that we cover the cost for him, right? And then same on the North Loop, like whatever those daily trolleys are, whatever the difference is what the city would end up covering our contribution to that.
This is part of those county transient tax.
Yeah, part of the county transient tax, yeah.
It's
Is that fair
worth
to
a
say?
try for sure. And this is something really, I think, that could potentially be marketed or listed on like one of those TripAdvisor thingies where you buy
Yeah.
this beer, like buy this package or whatever the
Yes.
other
No
ones
doubt
are.
about it.
Yeah, which Kara already has one of those set up, I think, so, yeah.
It's a
Yeah, I think having
constant ask. I mean,
the
we have-
option for an individual to go online to purchase is
Yeah.
gonna help promote this, because right now it's either call or email. They're trying to tack it on. If they already have a group sold, then they'll bring a few other people along, versus the promotion opportunity, I
Yeah.
think will really help.
Yeah, and people being able to individually purchase the tickets instead
Absolutely.
of trying to fill up a bus of people. So-
I know that I can do it in my software for the hotel. I can do add-on options and they can just add it right onto the hotel stay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Wow.
And we will do that, of course,
Aaron, when you asked that question, were you thinking it's too much?
Yeah, I heard that feedback
Really?
already. Like, yeah, like this.
Be on a shuttle
Well,
for a
what
whole
if,
day.
well, how many does the shuttle hold? I'm sorry.
25.
Well,
25
not the shuttle, the ride all day North Loop.
Oh, no, how much
Oh.
does the shuttle?
Shuttle's $25 a person also.
How many people can ride it?
25 people.
Okay, 25 people can ride it. So what if someone, for example, wanted to rent the whole thing? Maybe there's a discount for renting out the whole thing.
Sure.
If that.
That would be through Sam.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Something
that-
like that,
yeah.
like a wedding party or something like that.
But going back to the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
that's
does
what he
that.
already
Yeah,
does.
we would just offer it as like a city.
That's what I'm saying.
Sponsored thing,
but the trolley for $25 all day?
I think that's
Yeah,
great.
that's,
God, that's still a
That's cheap.
no-brainer. Yeah, that
That's
is
cheap.
cheap.
okay.
That's cheap, yeah. no
That's
doubt.
good. Yeah, because we
An
did.
Uber
we
would
did-
cost you that much to go from St. John to Bluesdale.
Yeah.
you know,
Right, yeah,
Easily.
right. No,
So
that's-
this is really,
Okay.
and $5 per ride.
We can try it. That's
Mm-hmm.
no problem.
No, yeah, that's,
I mean,
that's,
I see what you're saying. So like, I guess if they're just going from Dewdrop to Chateau or Dewdrop
Yeah.
to Postcard, then yeah, they would only probably pay $5 per
Yeah,
ride.
that's right, yeah.
But if they're doing the whole day,
Yeah.
it's 20,
No,
Yeah,
it's-
they get a voucher for it.
But even if, so let's say somebody did want to go from Dewdrop to Chateau for the day. I mean, you could go park at Dewdrop and go to Chateau for the day for $10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
That's great.
exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
well, think about it. If you're going from downtown to Chateau, you get on $5, you get to Dewdrop, and then you pay $5 to get to Chateau, and then you pay
Right.
$5 to get, so it ends up being $20.
Wait, you're saying that they
person.
have to pay per stop?
Well, every time they get on.
There's
Well,
two different
there's
trolleys.
two different trolleys,
Unless you're
yeah.
paying 25 a day and you get probably a bracelet or an armband or something.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
So,
You pay $5 to go from downtown to Dewdrop. You pay $5 to go from Dewdrop to Chateau.
So it is $5 per stop?
Every time you get on.
not per stop, so like,
When
let's
you
say,
get on.
okay, here's another scenario. Let's say you parked at Dewdrop and you went to, well, yeah, you
Terrace.
could go to Terrace. You could pass up all those stops and go directly to Terrace, and then,
$5.
so it'd
Okay.
be
Each
10.
time you get on,
Oh, you're saying it would be 10?
no,
No, you were about, I thought you were
No, it'd be 5 to get out to Terrace and $5 to get back.
Yeah, right.
Like
So
you're
it'd be
saying if you go
$10
from
for,
downtown St. John,
right,
that's
then
10
then
to get
that
off.
then that
Yeah.
because
doubles.
you have, Because you
got-
have two different trolleys or whatever that you're taking.
So
Kind of
literally
like the red
every,
line to the blue line.
yeah, you just get on, every time you get on a shuttle, you pay $5.
Got it.
Yeah.
The value really is in the all-day ride.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
They're gonna be like, I'm staying.
But I will tell you this.
I was
there-
just
there-
thinking, so if I get on at the Dewdrop and just stay on, because I'm
Yeah, you can ride all day long.
You
$5.
check that thing out.
All day long.
You bring your hunting rifle and you kill a few deers and then you get your car and pick them up later.
You get to see some good scenery.
I guess.
But I do love the $5 per ride because it does give people the opportunity to just go to Dewdrop and go to Chateau and come back for $10 instead of having to pay the $25.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
The pickup spot, I don't wanna, I know you're gonna talk about it maybe in committee, but the whole goal, one of the goals is to get people downtown, shopping, eating,
Yeah.
entertaining. So I feel like the pickup spot
Is important.
needs to be downtown.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No, for sure. I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
And honestly, that corner isn't a bad idea only because it's covered and it's brand new.
But where
Yeah.
do they park? Like, they'd have to park over by Brock
No.
in his parking lot. Unless they're parking on the street, but then you're taking the chance of having 25 vehicles on the street.
We would be happy to donate the parking lot.
And, I mean, but if you have an event
I
going
bet.
on in your
Yeah.
parking lot, it might be.
Yeah.
A
parking
lot
might
of
be
those
an
people
issue.
are probably already parked down there because they're staying
Yeah,
somewhere,
probably.
is my
You're
guess.
probably right. You're probably right.
I do think that
Or close.
corner is kind of the de facto center of town, you know.
Well, it's not gonna be 25 cars, because surely it's gonna be couples. You're
Sure.
gonna do it by yourself, so it shouldn't be too
Yeah,
bad.
or if they're staying at our Airbnb, I'll be like, you can walk right there. It's just
Yeah.
a couple blocks.
Yeah.
Or if they're
Yeah.
coming from Audubon, it's just across the street or Main
Right.
Street.
Yeah, I mean,
in,
it's not
or-
gonna be 25, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It depends on how many
You're gonna have
trucks.
people walk from Main Street in.
Yeah, absolutely. Southern Hotel, wherever they're
You
staying.
have going, you might have people that day.
Be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
I'm really
I
excited
think
for
it's,
it.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like the way this looks.
Well, and I mean,
Oh, thank you.
for November
Appreciate
7th,
that.
honestly, that's for Kanapalooza Day.
Yeah, might be a good
I
idea.
think that's a great day to, that's gonna
Kanapalooza
be
and
good.
Cookie Crumb, we're doing it together as a joint thing, so it's downtown.
Yeah.
It'll be really good
It
to
will
see
be
how that
nice.
goes.
People
And
at Coast Guard cabins could come in to become.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
But it will also, the people that are coming in for the festival and the Cookie Crumb, they will see the trolley out and about in action, and they're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know they had a trolley.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
come back next time and ride the trolley or whatever, so.
I almost think the biggest thing is gonna be to where people, to be able to tell people between now and then, where do I buy my ticket?
Yeah, we need to work that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Soon.
making it very easy for people
Yeah.
to scan and buy
Yeah.
and making the trolley stops
Does
very
trolley
visible.
already have capability of online?
Nope.
Oh,
I like this name, who the scenic sips is cute.
Thank you.
I did- Yeah, it's
That
cute.
That's cute.
was,
probably
that
need
came
to
to me in a dream.
Came to me in a dream.
what are we at on here?
We are.
That was old business.
That was old
Tourism.
business.
I know, I thought you hurt my stomach.
Oh, you still got Placer AI.
I just had a
Right.
baked potato.
Oh, you for lunch?
Well, I know we talked about, with the tourism report, doing a Placer AI.
Next time.
You want to do that next time? Let's do that next time.
Please.
If we can, thank you.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Phew, yeah,
second that.
I appreciate it.
Oh my God,
It was, see, you heard me, I said it loud enough.
We heard you.
if we brought dinner in, it would be different.
Right, ooh.
Audubon's.
I'll do it. Don't tempt me. I'll do it.
I'm trying to now.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't care. You can see me eat.
So yeah, so if we're moving from, we'll do the Placer AI walkthrough next meeting. New business, we've already done the Jasper Paul proposal. We do have a vacant board seat now, so we will address that. Nothing to report there so far.
Do you want to go through this tourism report thing here?
Oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me.
Or-
Totally forgot it wasn't in my.
There's just a couple things, I was just gonna ask a quick question, but you may already answer it when you're going through it, so I didn't wanna.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I also
Oh, that, okay.
put one of our commercials up on there if we wanted to look at that. But, for the 2027 budget, the stuff we do with McDaniel's marketing is going to move more from print advertisements. So generally, we do 2 ads in Missouri Life we do 1 ad in Midwest Living, and then we do 3 ads in St. Louis Magazine. We also do a little bit of, we've done, I guess that was more 2024. 2025, we did 2 ads in Kansas City Magazine and 2 ads in Kentucky Monthly as well. We are just going to go down to the St. Louis Mag, and we are going to push all of our digital promotion, so through Facebook and through Google Display and through Peacock. Actually, we are going to stream commercials. So this past year, we used a statewide grant to really beef up our content library. So we had our photographer taking photos of all the lodging entities in town, and then we had our videographer coming for all of our events and things like that. And we really have this incredible content library, and I am going in and editing that, putting music to it, and we're going to have some very cool commercials that will be streaming on Peacock. So please let me know if you see those.
Let us know when they're coming out, or do you know?
I will know, but not yet.
Okay.
That'll be after October 1st. You guys want to see an ad, or is that too much? I'm sorry, I'll make
It's
it
2 minutes,
quick.
right?
Yeah, it's like less than that, 30 seconds. And I have it queued. Look at me.
Nice.
I'll start from. So again, this is in production, but I thought it was.
Is this an Aaron special?
This is an yeah.
Visit St. Genevieve. There's something special.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a treasure.
Awesome.
So we also went around and kind of all of our local celebrities, the Allie Kavanaughs and stuff like that, we did that exact thing with them. So we'll be, I have some commercials that are like 15 seconds that just kind of, Allie Kavanaugh, painter, Guy Darrow, collector, sculptor, he's the man behind the Museum Learning Center. And it pans in, they just go, visit St. Genevieve, there's something special here, and then it comes out.
And this one more tailored towards like the cologne, like more of the historic.
Yes, instead of our, and actually probably need our guy to come out and film like more of our like outdoor stuff and Sarah's and stuff like
art,
that.
I mean, some of the other things, I just didn't know if, that seemed like great, like all the festivals, all the exciting things that we have going on.
Yeah.
But like the weekend of just the
Regular
constant stuff. Yeah, the constant stuff.
Tons of art places, tons of other things to do.
No, for sure. No, it's good. It's good to get that feedback. But I do, want to kind of.
Like a day in the life of visiting St. John.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, because I'd hate for someone to go, oh,
Yeah,
I
where
came
were
here
all the
because
people?
where is everyone
You
dressed?
don't see any of that once
Yeah.
you get here, yeah.
Well, if we do what Gina's talking
Yeah, that's
about,
right,
we
that's
will,
right.
We will have that there. It's a good thing. I will take
a great
that into
idea,
account
though.
for my
Great
next ones.
idea.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good to get feedback on that type of stuff too. So thank you for that. And then, we have a new Pomeroy sign. So in the old pergola, featured very prominently, we have one of those great big aluminum cast iron signs, like the liver dumpling sign that talks about our National Historic Registry entry.
Is it there now?
It's there now, yeah. So if you go under there, it's very.
When did they put it up?
A week or two ago?
Yeah.
Is it in the backside of the?
Yes.
It is, yeah. So when you're driving down Main, coming from Market, you can see it really prominently if you're looking
Right
to the
outside
side.
Audubon's window.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do
You can
that.
sit in the window eating and look at
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you could read it, but,
Good eyes.
Yeah, you could. We also have another one, I've been working with the Foundation for Restoration on getting one outside of the Guibord Valley House that will talk about the legend of Jacques Guibord escaping Haiti in a wine barrel.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah,
We need more of these. They're wonderful.
it's cool
Oh,
stuff.
it's wonderful stuff, dude. It makes the history real. When you're standing on the road and you're reading it, and you're in front of the house. It makes the history real. That is the coolest thing. Yeah.
So, yeah, and they're just such incredible looking signs. So again, this is kind of making that, our history a little bit more visible.
Yeah,
you can see it, but for a lot of times you walk by the key board and you're like, well, somebody lives there. Don't look too hard at the house because it's a private estate, But this makes it a little bit more of a historic site. So yeah, very
Even
excited
the liver
about that.
dumpling sign, like
I
those
love
are so
that.
cool. Yeah, they're so cool. So cool. That's what people look for. When they come to towns like this, that's what they look for.
They talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been standing near people just talking about that, and it's like, that's cool. Some new things coming out in 2027. Working right now with Lemon Theory on a big merchandise catalog. City branded pins, shirts, water bottles, a whole catalog. I've talked with Roseanne about this, and there's businesses and entities in town that would like to carry merchandise for the city. City branded merchandise. How do we make that available? I was trying to think of different ways. So basically, Lemon Theory would create the catalog. I'd also like to have, once we get that, the shirts kind of standardized, I'd love to have Deb Says So carry some of the shirts as well. You could be able to, so businesses can order those shirts at wholesale, those pins at wholesale, those hats at wholesale, and stock them in their stores. We'd have to maybe have the businesses be under a contract that says you have to sell them at this price. Yeah, exactly. No price gouging. But also, with the Welcome Center transitioning to the National Park, I'm realizing how much red tape there is to get our merchandise in there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We're still working on that, but not actively right now. Once I get this catalog, then I can be able to take it in, and hopefully we'll get some stuff printed and put it in that. And Patrick has also offered space at the Antique Mall to do that as well. So more to come on that. Banner marketing in downtown. So once we do get those banner poles up, we need to talk about, luckily we're putting them outside of museums and state historic sites in the national park. So a lot of times they can host those banners or put, outside of French Colonial America, where they can put what sort of exhibit, if French Colonial America wanted to do something for the Francois Valley Fee House, they can have control of that. But we've also talked about doing some things citywide, like during Christmas, having all the banners match, stuff like that. So that's something that'll be very cool. Also, the cross street banner capability is going to be really great for people throwing events, commercial streaming on Peacock. We are going to, we're looking at our social media as well and expanding that through that partnership with Jasper Paul or through a partnership with like YPR agency. Just, I think we could do a better job of getting out in front of events and promoting events through our post. But it has been, Neve is maybe a little more than a year on the job. So just her getting that schedule, she posts at the same time 3 times a week. And it's really, we're about to hit 3,000 followers on Instagram. It was an absolute nightmare. Our Facebook was an absolute nightmare. We didn't own the Facebook page, so that was still under a previous tourism director. We had 4 different active pages. So once we got all of that under control and we were able to post from Instagram to Facebook, which was in February of this year, we've actually grown our Facebook by 2,000 followers in just that 6-month time span. So we went from like 6.2 thousand followers or 6.5 thousand followers to 8.5 thousand followers. So that is really special. But we're going to continue working on that. And then, we have that same grant that we are using to do the branding and the asset procurement that we did this past year, the content library building, to get back into our website to make sure, I still look at that thing every day. I'm basically still responsible for the content on that. Our events calendar plugin is terrible. We really need to address that. We need to address how we list our events If there's a solution coming for that, I put it out to RFP that expired last week. We had 5 entries, so we'll be going through that, me and David, hopefully. I'm going to recruit you for that. Sorry, that's coming down the pipe.
This is for the websites?
This is for the websites.
How do you send out those RFPs? I'm just curious.
I put them on LinkedIn, and then there's this other site called Tourism IQ, where, a bunch of agency brands kind of get out there. Do you have an agency that would like a crack at stuff like that?
I know some people that could do that kind of stuff that would be probably pretty reasonable, but I just didn't know, and it's fine. It's no big deal.
No, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's why
What's the amount? Like, what's the amount that you have to?
we put the city puts in 10,000 and the state puts in 10,000.
To go out for RFP though, going back to the branding, like, did you send out RFPs for that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I bet what's the cap? Like, is it 3,000, 5,000?
So it's 15,000. If you're spending more than 15,000, you have to go out for an RFP. If it's, what's the threshold again? It's like 1 to 10,000 is.
Discretionary.
I'm sorry.
Are you asking for purchasing policy?
Yes.
So like if
Is that okay?
Can I ask that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the city, yeah.
Yeah.
Under
I know it's different.
Under 5,000 is just due diligence.
Under 5 is due diligence, okay.
Up to 5 to 10 would be, you need to at least get 3
Bids.
verbal quotes.
Okay.
10 to 15, you need to get 3 written quotes. Above 15, you need to go out to bid. And there are exceptions to those policies, right? Like sole source or emergency or things like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then does the city council vote on that or the TTC?
Neither.
What are we voting on?
Oh,
Just on any of the RFP? stuff.
You mean the bids that
In
come in
general.
for them?
So if,
Like if we're bidding out, like say I guess we're talking about 2 different things. If we're bidding out merchandise or if we're bidding out website, does the TTC board make that decision or does it have to be?
depends on where the money's coming from.
Oh, okay.
So general revenue would be
City council.
city council, TTC would be here. But if we're signing a contract and the city's part of it, that's going to have to go to the board.
Yeah,
Not if we're purchasing t-shirts per se.
Sure.
But if we're signing like we've decided not to go to Jasper Paul, and we go with Paul Jasper, and that contract's for $40,000. I mean, this would be an extension of a current contract. But if we're going to have a new contract and you guys vote, this is who we want to go with, that holds sway, obviously, but I think it's going to have to go to the board of Aldermen.
how does the board know the difference? So how do they know if we're voting for it or if the city's voting for it?
Well, if it was a vote by you all, I've had Aaron include that in the staff report to give us some.
Okay, makes sense. Just asking. And we're still at JD Rundy, I'm sorry, for the website.
Jay Rudney,
Or
yeah.
Jay Rudney,
Mhm.
I said JD.
Yeah, we're still with him. He put in a proposal for this as well. But yeah, we had we posted it on LinkedIn. We had some people that I was not aware of that put in a proposal. So yeah, looking forward to going through those and looking forward to getting that website lockstep.
Especially the calendar.
Especially the calendar, but also, part of this could go to our visit widget, itineraries, getting the app really integrated with the website. There's so many map capabilities and things like that that are excellent with that. So, and then the last thing, we're finalizing that welcome and wayfinding grant. So we're turning in receipts. Everything has to be in by August 31st. So the last thing that we're doing is those 31 banner poles that we're installing. We're getting those powder coated black. And so that's the last expenditure that we need to have. You can see at the bottom, those are photos of the sort of the applique of the signs, some of the signs. Those are going to be pressed onto that aluminum backing. So they're all printed and just waiting to be pressed on that aluminum backing. We should get those by the end of this month, beginning of September. 118 signs, all in all. And then this paid for that billboard on Y, half of that we put up last year. So that's been running for more than a full year. I think we started that one in April or May of last year. But this grant will reimburse us half from that spend. and then getting that billboard at Mississippi Lime replaced.
I just want to reiterate what Aaron said earlier.
No, the one we just did.
That was part of that.
That was part of this grant.
That's what I was saying. Sorry.
I just want to reiterate what Aaron said earlier. So the street pole piece, there's turning into a lot more than it started out as. So where do poles go? What electric's in the ground? What water's in the ground? Is it in the right of way? Is it, so the 3 that will go out here at Market and
Fourth
should be up before the holidays. The others, it'll probably be next year. So I don't want to tell you something's going to happen and in January you're like, where are these poles? Well,
There's a lot
You're
that's going
just
into
giving
it.
us something to look at and be excited about.
absolutely.
That's what it is, right? It's generating.
It's about being provocative.
I mean, okay.
Gets the people going.
I've gotten excited about less probably. You got a cool banner hanging up there?
New ice cream flavors.
Oh.
Hey, whoa. This way to Sarah's.
There you
This
go.
way to Sarah's.
Sea turtle.
I know it's my favorite. That and lemon, the lemon cheesecake. Yeah.
Girl, get in there.
So are the banner poles are brown now, is that right?
No.
No, there's no banner. There's
The
no
current ones?
there's no banner poles.
We don't have banner
currently.
poles.
We're
Oh, wait.
putting in brand new.
What are we powder
You're talking
coating?
about sign poles.
Oh, sign poles. They're brown? Are they brown currently?
Which sign poles?
The
The ones
wayfinding
that
signs
were
that have
powder
the.
coating black.
Oh.
Oh no, they're
These are
like
all
just
new.
raw aluminum.
Oh,
The
okay.
ones we're powder coating are the ones
Are
for the
brand
banner
new.
poles,
Brand new, right?
not the signage,
okay.
not signage related. Those are the
There's too
banner
many
poles,
poles.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Those are taller, right? Those
Most of
are,
these signs will end up on like standard U channel.
Yeah, they're just gonna.
MoDOT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of these. Yeah, they're not going to require big giant things that need to be engineered.
Some of them will end up.
These should be up, start trickling through to the end of the year and through next year. A lot, especially the stuff that's going to replace what we have. So the signs that point you towards the ferry or point you towards the Welcome Center, those, which some of them, the ones that are out on 61, those are MoDOT signs. So we had to get through MoDOT approval. We have to put breakaway poles in those places. So there's a little bit more that goes into those, but the stuff that's in our downtown, that will be replaced pretty.
Aaron and I have learned a tremendous amount about poles.
Yeah, right. If you shrimp poles, and crawfish poles, there are those kind of poles.
Not the poles that are on the shuttle.
Right. That
Did you
is,
hear me?
I did not, but I could sit there.
that's called an entertainer's pole.
Okay.
Yeah, on the shuttle.
motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
All in favor?
Woohoo, that was.
Well, thank you. That was
Said
fun.
it nice and loud.